Hi guys, it's Caramel Coco Brown coming to you again with another edition of My Favorite Kitchen. Today guys, I'm not feeling my best, and so I've decided to make a big pot of my wonderful chicken soup with cornmeal dumplings. And I know that once I've gotten a bowl or two of that soup into my system, I'm going to feel so much better. So I have all my ingredients laid out here. I want to show you how to also make this chicken soup. Soup is a dish that I absolutely love. It doesn't matter whether it's the summertime, spring, fall, winter. When we go out to eat, I always have soup before I have my main course. So yes, I don't feel so well today and I'm going to make a pot of soup, but I've made soup. It could have been 90 degrees outside and I can make a pot of soup. I absolutely love soup. It just feels so good going down, and it's so healthy and good for you too. So I have all my ingredients laid out here, and I hope that, you know, once I show you how to do it yourself, that you too can make a scrumptious pot of chicken soup, and then you can write me and tell me how it turned out. So I have here some chicken drumsticks, okay, carrots, celery, scallions, 1 pepper. This is Jamaican pepper. This is some chicken bouillon. Well, it says, well, the name of it is Better Than Bouillon, chicken base. I love it. There's no MSG in here. Everything in here is natural. I love this. I have my onions, garlic, basil, fresh basil. I have some fresh parsley, fresh rosemary, fresh marjoram. I'm going to put a few potatoes in my soup, of course onions, and guys, I'm really kind of sad. This is the last Vidalia onion that I have. This is the last one, and I've been looking all over for more. The season is going to be over supposedly the end of September, but even now some of the stores don't even carry the Vidalia onion anymore, so I have to go on a search and see if I can find just a few more, and I'll wrap them up and keep them in a dry place so that they'll last a little bit longer. So I have all, you see, I have all my ingredients. We really don't like chicken, we don't like the drumstick, but when I make soup, I like the texture better of the drumstick, and so what I do is I make my chicken soup with drumsticks, but I also put a few breast in there as well, okay? And what I normally do is I take the skin off of the drumstick, but sometimes I leave, depending on how many I put in my soup or how much soup I may do half and half. I may keep some skin on some of the chicken and take the skin off the others, because sometimes, you know, because the skin also gives a little flavor. Okay guys, so as you see, I have two parts of the chicken. I have about, I guess it's about a pound, maybe a little bit more than a pound of chicken breast, and I think this might be, I just put the packaging, the wrapping away, but I guess this is about maybe 2 pounds of chicken legs. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is cut some, I have 5 here, so I'm going to cut the skin off of, or take the skin off of 3. And guys, it depends on how I feel. Sometimes I just throw the chicken in the pot and I wait until it's already cooked, and then I take the skin off. But it's really hot when you do it that way, you know. So I'm just gonna pull the skin off, about 2 or 3 of them now, and throw them in the pot over there. And then I'm gonna cut some chicken breast too. See, if you pull it, it just comes right off. I don't know why my hands are want to be so slippery today, but it just usually just pulls right off. Not a problem. I have some chicken breast here, And I don't know whether you can see, but it's still a little frozen, and I like it that way because it's easier to cut. Okay, when it's completely thawed out, you know, it's very soft and mushy, you know, but it makes it a little more difficult to cut. But when it's frozen, when it's kind of partially frozen, I thawed it out a little bit, just enough to get the knife through it. It's a lot easier to cut. And so I'm just going to cut some pieces. There was some excess fat on here, and I took that off. A little piece right there. Okay, and then in a minute I'm going to put all this in the pot. So I have my chicken already over here. My water's already boiling. Sometimes I don't boil the water, but I'm doing it today. And I'm putting all the chicken, the 5 drumsticks, and my 1.5 pounds of breast in my pot. This is some organic thyme. The store didn't have fresh thyme today, so I'm going to put some thyme in there. Some pepper, salt, let that cook. You don't have to, but I like to use this because it gives the chicken even more flavor. But the chicken is going to already make its own flavor. But I kind of cut to the chase. I put like about a tablespoon or 2 of this Better Than Bouillon chicken base in my soup. And now I'm going to I don't put everything in at the same time because I don't want it all cooking. Some of the ingredients don't need to cook at the same rate or for the same length of time. The ingredients that take the longest to cook are the ingredients that I also throw in the pot with the chicken. Okay, so the carrots, of course, need about the same amount of time as the chicken to cook. So I'm going to, this is 2 pounds of carrots, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to cut up the carrots. Okay, guys, so I have my carrots chopped up. I have my celery chopped up, the heart of the celery as well as the green part of the celery. I'm going to put some Jamaican peppers in there as well. I'm going to chop up some marjoram and some rosemary. I'll chop up my onions, my garlic. I'm going to put some potatoes in there too. As you can see, there's the TV is on in the background. There's nothing that I like better than going to church, coming home, and then watching a good Western on TV while I'm cooking. So, even though I don't feel so hot, it's a great day. Oh, my carrots are trying to run away. Oh my goodness. So again, this is 2 pounds of carrots. And 3 stalks of celery. Okay. Okay guys, I'm chopping up my onions now, my scallions. And I'm really taking my time. This is my last, I told you, this is my last Vidalia onion. I have got to find some more Vidalia onions before the season is over, which is about in a month or two. Like in September, you probably won't be able to find any. And they have also onions and Mayan onions, but for me, my favorite onion is the Vidalia onion. Love them, love them. So this is the last that I have for right now. So I'm chopping this up. We're going to put about, I don't know, about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic in my soup. Maybe even more. I don't know, I'll let you know in a minute. And as you can see, guys, I have the celery. I've chopped up some of the celery. I don't know, when you go shopping for your food, you go into the produce and you're looking for scallions. The scallions should always be straight. If they're bending or, you know, broken, that's not so good. But as you can see, this bunch of scallions is a very nice bunch, and they're all nice and straight. So It's a pretty fresh bunch of scallions, and let me see, does this tag say that this bunch is organic? Doesn't say it's organic, but I like how they throw that word around so much now. Organic. What exactly does that mean? I think I've said this before. When I was coming up as a kid, they didn't have to put the word organic on anything because everything was natural. Came out of the ground just like that, with no preservatives. I'm going to use all of the scallions. I just wanted to put it aside for a minute. So I'm going to take this over to the stove. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let me cut up some. I'm going to quarter my potatoes. And sometimes if they're small like that, I'll just put the whole thing. I'm going to put that whole potato in the pot just like that. And I'll just quarter my potatoes. All right. And I'm going over to the stove again. Can't you smell it, guys? Look at that. Look at that. Woo! Woo, that's something good. Look at that. And I'm going to add some more water to this because all this has to cook down. So look at that. I wish you guys could smell this. Oh, this is going to be some kind of good. And then what I do, when this is all done, I pull my chicken, my drumsticks out of the pot, and I take them off the bone. I don't do it ahead of time because them being on the bone serves its purpose because there's flavor in the bone as well. Okay? So look at that. I'm going to add some more water in a minute. Some fresh basil. And my pot too. I just added marjoram and rosemary. I love rosemary and chicken. And I'm adding some parsley too. I'm not going to put all the parsley in here right now because I like to put my parsley in at the end as well. So let that marinate. Okay guys, I'm using my Rosley garlic press. The garlic press that I told you a few shows ago that I got from Williams-Sonoma. I love it. So far I've pressed about 3 cloves of garlic in here. 4. I want it all, get it all out of there. This comes with another part where you can actually get all the garlic out a lot easier. I don't know where it is, so I just use a knife. I so wish you guys could smell this. Ooh. So healthy, natural, good for you. Everything in here. And then you know what? I put what? About 5 cloves of garlic in here. And guess what? I'm gonna throw 3 whole ones in there. Ah, it's gonna be so good. Okay, so my onions, the onion and scallions is the last of my ingredients. And what I usually do, guys, is I look in the refrigerator, and if I have some things in there that we need to eat that are still good, of course. Like I know I have a small piece of cabbage in the refrigerator. It's not enough to feed everyone in the household, so guess what? I'm going to pull that cabbage out and throw it into my chicken. But I won't do that until the very end because I want the cabbage to still have some texture to it. I don't want it to be so limp that you can't really taste it. Okay, so that's all my ingredients. Look at that. Look at that. You can see it. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I so wish you guys could smell it. And I don't know whether you guys can tell, but I did add some more water. So I'm going to turn it down low and let that cook down. Leave the top off just a little bit so that it doesn't boil over. But that's going to cook down. And now I'm going to show you how I make my cornmeal dumplings, okay? Okay, so I already have my cornmeal and my flour. Here's my olive oil. I have a half a cup of olive oil and 1 cup of stock from my chicken soup, okay? I'm going to put some salt. This is not even going to be a teaspoon. Some salt in here. Some pepper. 2 cups of cornmeal in this bowl already, and I have 1 cup of flour. So 2 parts cornmeal, 1 part white flour. Okay, and actually I found out that it's the flour that kind of holds everything together. That was my missing ingredient. I was trying to make the cornmeal dumplings totally for years without the flour, and it always came out so gritty, and it always tasted as if something wasn't right, like it wasn't cooked all the way through. I'm going to put a half teaspoon of Clapper Girl baking powder in here. Okay. I'm going to add just about 1/4 of a teaspoon of sugar. I'm going to add 1/2 cup of olive oil. Stir that up. Once again, guys, mixing in my trusty all-clad bowl. I love these bowls. Okay, now I'm going to mix in the liquid. Now, this is a trick too. The dumplings have to be a particular consistency so that they don't fall apart when you put them in the soup. I'm going to get funky with it in a second. Put my hand all in it because you really have to smash it up, mash it up. Gotta get funky with it. Put your hands in there. See, I'm smashing them, making sure that everything gets mixed very nicely together. But you see the consistency? It's very, doughy. But not doughy because it's cornmeal. Okay, guys, I have another story to tell you. When I was growing up in the South, oh my goodness, my grandmother would send me to a friend's home, and she made the most wonderful cornmeal dumplings. I noticed that people in the North tend to eat flour dumplings. I don't really like flour dumplings. They're too doughy. I like for my dumplings to have a little more texture that the cornmeal offers. And not only that, I was raised up on the cornmeal dumplings. So I make cornmeal dumplings, and it has taken me years to really perfect the cornmeal dumpling. I had been trying for so many years to make cornmeal dumplings, and they would just never come out right. Now, back in the day, my parents would make cornmeal dumplings with lard. Oh my God. Okay, there's no lard in this house at all. We've learned since then, we've evolved since then, and we know that lard is an awful thing for you to eat or even put in your food. See that? Look at that. Nothing in the bowl. Everything's mixed together. And now I'll take this over to the pot and make my little dumplings to go in the pot. This is going to be so good, guys. I'm feeling better already. Look at that. Whew. Guys, I even have some kale in the refrigerator that I might throw in here. But I have my cabbage over there also on the counter that I'm going to put in this soup. All right, so what I do is I just break off, make them into round medallions. Oh Lord, you done a medallion, huh? Look at that, it's gonna be perfect. Let's stick it on the side. So that one's on the top, but on the side. And I'll count them for you to give you an idea how much 3 cups of ingredients will make. There are 9 dumplings in there. So 3 cups, 2 cups of cornmeal and 1 cup of flour made 9 small dumplings, okay? And so I'm going to put the top on that. and just let it percolate. Percolate. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And remember I told you that my motto is, if it tastes good raw, it's going to be fabulous. And so this broth, this stock is already so good, and it's not even done. This is so flavorful, so healthy, so good for you. All right, guys. So I'm gonna let that cook for, let's say, 40 minutes. Okay, so guys, what I did, I took my 5 drumsticks out of the pot, and I took the meat off the bone and discarded the bones, and I have now put the meat back into the pot. Okay, look at that. Look at that. It's going to be so good. And so, remember I told you that I was going to add some some more vegetables in here. I bought some kale earlier today, so I'm going to throw some kale in here. See how the dumpling puffed up a little bit? Because I put the baking powder in the dumpling, which makes it rise. So I'm going to add some more greens. In fact, I'm going to put the kale in today and not the cabbage. I'm going to eat off of this probably all this week, and so I'll freshen it up with some vegetables. And so the cabbage that I have in the refrigerator, I will put some of that in later on this week. Look at that, guys. Look at all those ingredients. Look at the carrots and I left one chicken, one drumstick. I know I had 4, and I was looking for that 5th one. There it is. So I'm going to take the meat off the bone, discard the bone, and put the meat back in the pot. And it'll be time for us to eat in a minute. And see how easy that skin just comes right off. So if you want to cook it first and then take the skin off, the skin will come off very, very easily once the meat has been cooked. And so I'm going to take the meat off the bone, discard the bone, discard the skin, and throw the meat back in the pot. Look at that. Look at all these wonderful ingredients percolating together. Having a great time. Look at that. Ooh, I know you guys want to come over. Look at that. Look at my dumplings. Ooh. All right, 12 minutes. And then I'll just finish it off with my last bit of parsley. And I'm going to have a bowl of chicken soup. Okay, guys, so now my soup is all finished. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Woo! My kale has cooked down. Everything is ready, percolating. I'm on my road to recovery already. In fact, making this soup has already made me feel better. Okay? All right, so I'll see you in a second. Okay, guys, my chicken soup is ready. Look at that. Look at this. I'm going to make a bowl for myself. Look at that dumpling, guys. Some kale, some carrots, chicken, piece of potato. Maybe even another dumpling. Look at that. Look at that. Guys, I'm on my road to recovery. So Caramel Cocoa Brown coming to you again with another edition of My Favorite Kitchen. Guys, you try it at home yourself. Don't wait until you feel bad. Do it now and let me know how it comes out. So from Caramel Cocoa Brown to you, God bless and eat well.